You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. The following podcast contains spoilers and rude words. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing with Billy and Dave. How you doing, mate? Oh, I see what you're doing. You're miming. Oh, you cheeky clown, you. Perfect for an audio medium, of course. Oh, yep, Dave's given the big old thumbs up. Oh, Dave, put the chainsaw away, mate.
That's probably about as long as I can milk that joke without becoming increasingly annoying for the audience.
Happy spooky season, everybody. We are, of course, this week reviewing Terrifier 3, a 2024 American Christmas supernatural slasher film written and directed by Damien Leone. It stars Lauren Lavera, Elliot Fulham, Margaret Ann Florence, and David Howard Thornton. And what is it about, Dave?
Art the Clown back because of reasons that don't really get explained, and Damien Leone shows off his amazing practical effects, and David Howard Thornton gets to do some pretty awesome acting. But look, to really spend much time talking about plot is probably a waste of time.
I think although
you didn't get to the first two, so the inconsistency in writing and the fact that the logical transition from one film to the other really is very fucking tenuous with these films.
Yeah, so you pointed. I did a Billy. I did exactly what I did with Beetlejuice the Second, and what I've done many times before.
Much less of a problem this time round.
I walked into this, but unlike with those films, this I was actually really excited for. I love a slasher film, especially this time of year. I love a slasher Christmas film. There's not enough of them. And I'd heard that the gore in this series in general was just off-the-wall amounts of fun and over the top. And so I'd had the previous Terrifier films on my watch list for ages. I just hadn't gotten to them. So I walked in, I wouldn't say I walked in not knowing what to expect, because I think anyone who's heard anything about these films knows what to expect from them, which, as you said,
there's having stuff described to you, and then there's seeing it. And I think that I don't think any amount of preparation can. I would be surprised if you still weren't like, holy shit, at some of the effects in this.
What surprised me the most was the level of lore in this film and kind of the backstory and stuff. Because my understanding of the first one is that it's basically a series of vignettes that are kind of very loosely interconnected.
Nothing is
maybe not even
at all.
Yeah,
and
this one very much. I was like, oh man, I should have watched the previous films first,
or the second. I would skip the first one. The first film is a piece of shit. It's trash.
Yeah, so
it only exists to shock.
So I did go read the Wikipedia page for the first two films just so that I had a sense of this after I'd watched this, of course, because I don't do anything in the order you'd expect. But I had a super fun time with this film. I really did. I know that you weren't looking forward to it. You'd said that you didn't like the first one.
The first one is an absolute piece of shit.
Okay, When the first one's it wasn't widely seen. It was the second one that made this series a success.
The leap in filmmaking prowess and the writing is still garbage, but there is actually a script in the second one.
Yeah.
The jump in is quite incredible.
Yeah.
The second one's still not a particularly well-made film.
Yeah.
As with all of these,
I think this is a pretty well-made film. I was surprised. I think that this is a pretty well-made film. I walked in expecting it to pretty much
for a $2 million movie. It looks amazing.
Well, I walked in expecting this to just be wall-to-wall gore city, and the scenes that are gory are gory. The one problem I have with this film, which I understand is even worse with the second one, is that it is too long. And
this is half an hour shorter than this. The second one is interminably long,
and there are very long stretches
of Joker Folie à Deux. It would be the longest feeling film I've seen this year.
And there are very long stretches of plot and whatnot in between the gore, but as you say, they're not written especially well. But I think for how low budget this film and this series is, I actually think that it looks really good. I think that the acting is quite solid. I mean, the practical effects, like you've mentioned, are off the chain. Like, I mean,
he is one of the best I've seen in decades.
Well, and it's the kind of effects that just don't get done anymore. You know, I know that you, much like I, was a big fan of the Slashers podcast, little spin-off show done by Jason from Binge and Paul from The Countdown and Megan from Spoiler Piece, who I don't know if we can say this. Maybe I'll cut it if we can't, but I believe they're coming back for a second season, which is going to be great. But you and I were both a fan of that. We both love slasher movies.
Yep.
And this kind of slasher just doesn't get made anymore. This, to me, sits somewhere in between what the Saw franchise became and the old franchises like, you know, Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the fact that they've already announced Terrifier 4. I love the fact that we are getting a brand new IP in this slasher space with this new iconic horror figure like Art the Clown.
I am really pleased with how this is given. I mean,
this is doing gangbusters.
I held off. Like I splashed out and bought I don't know if it was Umbrella or Arrow or whoever put it out, but a box set of Terrifier 2. I think it's All Hallows Eve, which was the kind of the anthology one that Art the Clown came in before that, and it's also got the short film and it's got a little book. It's a beautiful hardbound thing. Not having seen anything about them, just knowing that they were full on gore. Watched the first one, was so disappointed by what a shit film it is, because it's a shit film. The only thing going for it is the quality of the effects. It is it's verging on that torture porn space, which I have a big problem with, where it is
that's what I was saying before. That's kind of what the later Saw movies became.
And so while I was impressed by the practical effects, I did not like that film at all, and didn't watch Terrifier 2 for weeks and weeks and weeks until I saw the trailer for Terrifier 3 and went, oh shit, you've got a final girl mechanic, there's characters in there, there's it actually looks like it's balancing, obviously he's a special effects guy by trade, Damien Leone, and is just having the time of his life, kind of pushing the boundaries and doing what he can. And I'm all for that. If I was an effects guy, I would love working on these films.
Yeah.
As a viewer, I want something to balance that, because otherwise I'm just watching, apart from appreciating the artistry of it, the technical artistry of it, I'm just watching kind of horrendous cruelty, gleeful cruelty for the sake of it, without character or anything.
I didn't really feel that with this one. I felt like
that's what put me off so much after the first one, that I didn't watch the second one until seeing the trailer for the third, where I went, oh, okay, this has now become a story.
Yeah.
With a lot of gore in it. Cool, I'm on board for that. Went back and watched 2. It is head and shoulders above the first one. The writing's still shit. He's a terrible writer. It's about an hour too long.
Yeah.
But unlike the first one, where it's almost kind of depressingly bleak, because you're kind of rooting for characters that don't make it, like the spoilers. I know spoilers are irrelevant. No one comes out of the first one. The only person that survives is our kind of heroine.
Yeah.
Who takes over from her sister, who's kind of the female lead for the first third. And she kind of almost escapes at the end, but then gets caught and disfigured. And we then find out that's Vicky, who is in this
who gives birth to Art's head.
No logical reason is given as to why she goes from being the victim in the first one, who's horribly disfigured, to an evil demon, other than I think they hint in this one that she's been possessed by a demon. That's never shown or anything.
Yeah.
There's the consistency of the writing in these films is fucking all over the place. Nothing makes sense.
I tell you what, though, they are fun. The opening scene of this, I was hooked straight away. We were right into the Christmas setting.
Random family that never gets mentioned again.
Random family. Art just demolishing the crap out of people. I mean, it's filmed wonderfully. The makeup and the practical effects are brilliant. The end of that scene where the little girl is hiding in the cupboard and he just kind of waves at her and we cut and we have no idea. Well, it's completely ambiguous.
That was the thing with this, because I wondered, the second one is obviously notorious, even in this franchise, for how over the top it is. And because I was so pleasantly surprised when I did go to watch it that it wasn't shit.
Yeah.
I watched and there's like a hour plus behind the scenes making of documentary with them on set, showing that, doing the effects and that. And there's one scene in particular which I think still tops anything in number 3. And the reason is they hit lockdown and Damien had an extra 9 months to sit there and just plan and build and one up. And when they came back to shoot, everyone was like, holy fuck. But that kind of really won me over.
Yeah.
To him, and he's kind of almost partnering with David Howard Thornton now on who plays Art the Clown on what they're going to have Art doing, and they bounce ideas off each other and stuff, it seems. And that kind of won me over to, this is not just hostile nastiness for the sake of nastiness, which I really don't like. There's so much of the glee that they have in putting this on, and even the actresses on set in that behind the scenes were like, this is fucking this is so much fun.
I mean, the gore is just sensational. There are some awesome fucking kills in this movie. All of the stuff with Art dressed as Santa is just fun. It's really, really fun.
There's a lot more humor in this than there was in the second. And certainly, I'm not going to talk about the first anymore. The first is a nasty piece of work, and I don't like it. The second had some humor, but it was really just Art kind of mugging for the camera almost. And then a couple of things, like in the second one, he goes to the laundromat to wash his clown suit because it's all covered in blood, and he's sitting there just in tidy whities reading a paper, but with the Art clown makeup on, but naked apart from undies. And it's really just pretty funny. But a lot more humor in the third, I thought. Like when the scene with Clint Howard and I can't remember who plays the actual Santa guy. That's a name. There's a name actors in this. Fucking Jason Patrick, Jesus. But that scene in the bar with Clint Howard and the bartender and whatever, where he's like, you can only tell if he doesn't have a beard, he's not a real Santa. So of course he rips the guy's beard off and then wears his fake bloody beard for most of the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Funny stuff.
Even the shower scene, which is probably one of the goriest in the film, just him wearing those silly glasses and when he takes them off and puts them on her and
jams them into her half eviscerated face. That guy, Cole, the flatmate, that might be the most uncomfortable kill I've ever seen in a movie.
I didn't think we could get a worse dick cruelty scene this year than what we already had in Maxine. This just takes that to the next level, but it is so fun. And look, there's probably something wrong with me. It's probably I hear people say this to people who like this stuff all the time, like, what is wrong with you? But none of this made me feel queasy. You hear the stories of people walking out. What I heard,
we're not your average sample size.
No, but here's what I heard. Well, I don't know how true this is, but when they did the test screenings, well, not test screenings, but when they did the premiere preview screenings in London, they just told a bunch of people, look, here's a preview of a Christmas film. They didn't tell them what it was. People didn't know what they were going in there for. So, of course, you're going to have people walking out and spewing as they do and stuff. But I got to say, this movie is absolutely killing it. It's already, 3 days
I cannot believe
tripled its box office.
I mean, I'm super happy for him because I love practical effects, and I love the fact that there are still people out there. It's the same reason. I mean, one of the main reasons I liked Leach's The Fall Guy was because it was such a love letter to practical stunts. And I mean, I know, ironically, as a VFX guy, but you also love practical work, whether it's stop motion or practical stunts, practical SFX, whatever. I love the fact that there's a guy out there just marching to the beat of his own drum and being successful.
Yeah.
And I mean, he will be rolling in it.
Yeah.
This thing cost $2 million.
I'm so glad they've already announced Terrifier 4. I'll watch if they stay this level of fun, and even if they get more fun, if they lean more into the camp than this already does, and if the lore just continues to get sillier and sillier, I'm all there. I'd watch 10 more of these.
My only thing, I mean, one, he needs someone in there helping edit to trim some of the flab, because I mean, this one's better.
It's too long. That's for sure.
20 minutes too long.
It's over 2 hours. No slasher film should be over 2 hours.
Number 2 is over 2.5 hours. It's an hour longer than it should be. There's a lot of flab. And the flab feels more flabby because his writing's not very good. He needs to get a writer on board.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, he's attempting to build this lore, but because he's not a writer and he doesn't have a good writer on the team.
Yeah.
There's no consistent. Like, the second one had an awesome entity / character introduced in this creepy little girl,
who I believe is the one that has possessed Victoria.
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
but Victoria was already fucked beforehand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She in number 2, she does a Joker and is being interviewed by chat, and then just attacks and kills the interviewer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're left to going, what the fuck? This has been our heroine for the entire film. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then as you read, and I had to go back because it is a post credits, and the credits are really fucking long on the second one.
Yeah.
It's a post credits scene where you get this kind of insane but amazing little coda
where
where
she gives birth to
a head and killing a guy and whatever. But the little girl, I'm hoping that, because Terrifier 4 had already kind of been semi-scripted when they filmed 3, I'm hoping that 4 kind of pulls all these loose ends together, because now we've got the pale girl who is in 2 but not 3.
Yeah.
And is a major part of 2.
Yeah.
You've got Vicky randomly in 3 now seemingly has been possessed by a demon, and maybe that's why our heroine became evil. Okay, where did the demon come from? There's all these loose ends, that none of which are connected currently. I'm hoping 4's gonna.
I'll tell you what I want. I want
them all together.
I want more. I want more themed entries. So we've had Halloween, we've had Christmas. Now give me fucking Terrifier at Easter. I want to see Art dressed up as the Easter Bunny throwing explosive eggs at kids or something.
That's. Speaking of ballsy. It's a long time since we've had a filmmaker not shy away from killing kids.
In the opening scene, when you see the first kill in this film is a little boy, and you don't see the kill, but when you see his body and he's all chopped up,
entrails all hanging out.
Yeah. You're right. It doesn't shy away from it at all.
He blows up about 30 kids at the at the Santa parade.
Yeah.
My only hope is that he tidies up the writing and editing and pulls all these threads together, because I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's got a grand plan and this is all going to fucking make sense. Because at the moment it's a hot mess as far as the lore and the mythos he's creating.
Yeah.
But holy shit, the practical effects kind of get you over the line. They really do.
Oh, they're awesome. Every kill in this is just so much fun. It's so visceral and practical, and it's just, oh man, I really, really liked this film. I'm an 8 out of 10, which I know seems high for what this is high, yeah. But it's just fun.
I'm a 7, just because the stuff it does well, i.e. the practical effects and the just gleeful over-the-top nature, is so extreme and so much better at that than anything we've seen in years, that I kind of give a pass to all of the other failings. But look, there's a caveat. Like, it's obviously we're both recommending it.
Oh yeah, we're
recommending this to people who like gory horror films.
That's the thing. Not even just horror.
even on the fence about gory films, this is gorier than anything you've probably seen before.
100%. That's the thing. Like, my mum loves horror movies, and that's one thing that we do every now and then is we catch up and we watch a horror together. Mum, don't watch this. Terrifier is not for you. This is not like, this is a certain breed.
Even if you're one of these people that says, "Oh, look, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic and I respect it for being a good cinematic achievement," you're probably not the audience either.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that next week continues the good streak of horror films, because I liked the first Smile, and I'm looking forward to Smile too.
Yeah. Were you the same as me and the opposite of most people, that you thought Smile was really good, but Barbarian was actually overrated?
I actually have not seen Barbarian. It's been on my watch list, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
So I went into both of them about a week after kind of all of our group of friends.
Yeah.
And most people were saying, "Oh, Smile's pretty good. Barbarian's really cool. It's wild."
No, I really
Barbarian.
love
I thought Barbarian was stupid.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there's some likable stuff, but the plot was so ridiculous it killed me. Smile, I thought, was really good.
No, same.
And I've seen it now twice since then.
Yeah,
and it just gets better and better. So I am. Yeah. And the trailer for Smile 2. It's the first film in years I've seen more than one trailer for, and all of them are.
I have not seen a trailer. I've seen the poster, and so has Noose. I'm trying to convince Noose to come with me to see it.
Tell her it's got Jasmine from Aladdin in it.
Oh, are you kidding? It's got Naomi Scott. She's
She's
fucking
the lead.
Babe. She is one of the best looking women on the planet. Oh my God. Now I'm even more excited. Yeah, I've been trying to get Noose to agree to come watch it, so we'll see how I go there. I got her to watch Carrie the other night, and she liked that. She's been getting a little bit braver. So
well, that's got John Travolta.
I know. All right, well, that's it from us. Thank you for joining us here at We Watched a Thing. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com, and you can find us on Facebook. Go join the Facebook listener community, and we'll catch you next week with Smile 2.
Smile 2, indeed.